ओके। तो गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन, माय नेम इज़ दीपांक शर्मा एंड जो लोग मुझे नहीं जानते हैं, वैसे तो आई होप आप लोग जानते हो, ठीक है। वैसे इतना कोई फेमस भी नहीं हूँ मैं, ठीक है। बट आई हैव बीन रनिंग दिस PSIR प्रोग्राम फ्रॉम द पास्ट 2 sessions, I would say, ठीक है। सो आई हैव रन दिस प्रोग्राम 3 times, one before prelims, last year का prelims, and the next I did after prelims, right? And this is going to be the version 3.0। तो जो यहाँ पे थर्ड वर्जन होने वाला है वो ये होने वाला है, ठीक है। सबसे पहली चीज जो आई वांट टू क्लैरिफाई इज दैट देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन विद रिगार्ड्स टू नेमिंग एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स। मैं पहले बता दूं आपको, ये जो क्रैश कोर्स है, दिस इंक्लूड्स द PYQ कोर्स जो हम देते हैं एंड द इनरिचमेंट कोर्स, ठीक है। नाउ मैं आपको सीधी सीधी सिंपल सी बात बताता हूँ। आई एम समवन हु इज गिवन 5 attempts and I did not give my sixth attempt because I was very inclined towards teaching। तो मैं टीचिंग की तरफ चला गया। आई ट्रस्टेड माई गट, and in my the fifth after my fifth attempt I started teaching, right? And in that I started teaching on Telegram. Just a second. So I started teaching on Telegram, and in that group we had Aman Aloon, right? Who has scored 282, and he has scored. I think he has gotten rank of 295. Yes, 295 rank आई उनकी. Then also we had Priyasha Verma, who also joined my course post prelims, ठीक है। तो उन्होंने post prelims join किया, एंड उन्होंने भी PYQ, अच्छा, अमन हैड टेकन द इनरिचमेंट कोर्स क्योंकि उस समय मैं PYQ कोर्स नहीं चलाता था, ठीक है। पोस्ट प्रिलिम्स आई एडेड दिस कंपोनेंट ऑफ PYQ बिकॉज आफ्टर ऑन सजेशन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स के सजेशन पे प्रियाशा वर्मा टुक बोथ ऑफ देम, राइट। बोथ ऑफ देम उन्होंने लिए एंड शी स्कोर्ड। उनके कभी भी नहीं आते थे मार्क्स, हमेशा 250, लास्ट उनका 250 आया, फिर उसके बाद 282 आया, राइट। वी वर इनोवेटिंग एंड वी वर डूइंग समथिंग न्यू दैट हैज़ नेवर हैपेंड इन द मार्केट, ठीक है। मैं आपको कुछ बातें बताऊंगा, बट ये मेरा ब्रॉड बैकग्राउंड है। नो बडी न्यू मी बिफोर मार्च 6 को आई थिंक रिजल्ट आया। वेरी इंटीमेट ग्रुप वी हैव रन। जो लोग मेरे साथ पहले से एसोसिएटेड हैं वो तो जानते ही मुझे, बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट आई एम अ वेरी अनपॉपुलर। कोई ऐसा कोई खास पॉपुलर कोई रीच नहीं है मेरी। एंड पोस्ट द रिजल्ट्स दिस चेंज्ड, ठीक है। पोस्ट द रिजल्ट्स दिस हैज चेंज्ड एंड आई हैव बीन ऑफर्ड। काफ़ी लोगों ने रीच आउट किया है, काफ़ी बिग नेम्स हैं, है ना। सम IRS ऑफिसर, है ना, टीचर्स, दे हैव ऑल्सो रीच्ड आउट। बट आई हैव gotten along with right now with sleepy classes, because of the way they work, and we have kept the price low, है ना। दिस इज सम एक चीज़ जो मेरे दिमाग में रहती है कि प्राइस अपने को थोड़ा लो साइड पे रखना है, ठीक है। इसमें ये ध्यान रखना, दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट अ मास कोर्स, सो इट आई एम एबल टू कीप द प्राइस लो बिकॉज अपने को ज़्यादा प्रॉफिट और ज़्यादा कॉस्ट ही नहीं आती है, ठीक है। तो बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट्स क्या हैं, वो 2,000 रुपये का कोर्स बेचेंगे लेकिन 5,000 लोगों को बेचेंगे बेचेंगे, राइट। बट यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है, बट उनकी कॉस्ट भी ज़्यादा होती है बिकॉज फिर वो मार्केटिंग भी करते हैं, ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा, दे डू। बट अपनी इतनी कॉस्ट नहीं आती है ना। और फिर अपन इतने लालची नहीं है कि वी गो आफ्टर अ लॉट ऑफ कॉस्ट, ठीक है। इवैल्यूएशन वाला कंपोनेंट वगैरह वो सब मैं डिस्कस करूंगा आपसे। बट बिफोर ये क्रैश कोर्स को छोड़ देते हैं, कुछ जनरल बातें कर लेते हैं जो मैं एज अ टीचर आपको बताना चाहता हूँ, ठीक है। एंड ये बातें मैं पहले नहीं बताता था किसी को। वाई? बिकॉज यार वी वर इनोवेटिंग, राइट, वी वर डूइंग समथिंग न्यू। अब वो कितना वर्क करेगा या नहीं करेगा ये जनरल पॉपुलेशन में बताने से पहले वी हैव टू लुक एट द रिजल्ट्स, राइट। नाउ व्हेन द रिजल्ट्स हैव कम, नाउ आई कैन टेल यू कि ओके दीज थिंग्स वर्क एंड दे हैव वर्कड विद नॉट 2 people। ये तो 2 लोग आप देख रहे हो जिनका रिजल्ट आया है, ठीक है। यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हो कि दीज अमन अलून हैज गॉटन द रैंक, प्रियाशा हैज, बट उसके अलावा इंटरव्यू स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑल्सो देयर। फॉर एग्जाम्पल देवशीज इज देयर, ठीक है। देवशीज के 277 मार्क्स आए हैं सेम कोर्स लेके जो प्रियाशा ने लिया, राइट। सिमिलरली देर आर दिस भावेश, भावेश की ही हैज बिकम IPS दिस ईयर, 128th रैंक आई है। ही हैड सीन द एनरिचमेंट कोर्स, राइट। तो एनरिचमेंट कोर्स भी किया। उसके बाद वी हैड नंबर ऑफ अदर पीपल जिन्होंने इंटरव्यू दिया एंड दे हैड स्कोर्ड ठीक ठाक, ठीक है। तो आफ्टर दैट आई एम टेलिंग यू सर्टेन थिंग्स। तो पहली चीज तो मैं आपको क्लैरिफाई करना चाहता हूँ, क्रैश कोर्स इज नथिंग, इसमें कुछ नहीं है। नाम बस चेंज किया बिकॉज क्रैश कोर्स इज वेरी पॉपुलर एंड पीपल, बच्चों को समझ में आता है कि ओके PSR का कोई क्रैश कोर्स है। बट इट इज जस्ट दी ओल्ड थिंग ओनली, जो हमारा एनरिचमेंट कोर्स प्लस PYQ एज, ठीक है। जो हम PYQ प्रोग्राम करते थे पहले, मैं माहिर PYQ के नाम से रखता था इसको, तो इसमें PYQ और एनरिचमेंट कोर्स दोनों इंक्लूडेड है, ठीक है। ये तो हो गई अपनी फालतू की बातें। अब मैं आपसे कुछ आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट सर्टेन थिंग्स विद यू, ठीक है। कुछ बातों को जरा डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। सबसे पहली चीज़, गिव मी 1 सेकेंड। सबसे पहली चीज़ जो मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ दैट इज़ विद रिस्पेक्ट टू हमारा कि क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं इन जनरल आंसर राइटिंग में। आपको कुछ बातें बताना चाहता हूँ कि क्या चीज़ें वर्क कर रही हैं मेरे हिसाब से और क्या चीज़ें वर्क नहीं कर रही हैं मेरे हिसाब से, ठीक है। सो लेट मी टेल यू दीज थिंग्स, जस्ट अ सेकेंड। ठीक है, देखो आंसर राइटिंग में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो आपके लिए होनी चाहिए, रिगार्डलेस ऑफ एनरिचमेंट, माई कोर्स, PYQ, ये सब छोड़ दो, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है वो है डिमांड। ठीक है, अब मैं आपको ये चीज बताता हूँ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन दिस सिनेरियो। इस सिनेरियो में हो क्या रहा है, वाई पीपल आर नॉट एबल टू स्कोर मच, और क्या क्या इशूज आ रहे हैं। ठीक है, सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दीज थिंग्स। द फर्स्ट थिंग, ठीक है, आइडियल, या ठीक है, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, या सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज, ठीक है, व्हाट इज द आइडियल वे टू अप्रोच एन आंसर। थोड़ा ना रुक जाओ, PDF थोड़ी अप डाउन हो गई है, जस्ट गिव मी 1 सेकेंड। या सो व्हाट इज द आइडियल वे टू अप्रोच एन आंसर, अगर हम इसकी बात करें, सबसे पहली चीज जो आपको ध्यान रखनी है दोस्तों, वाइल यू अटेम्प्ट एनी आंसर, इज दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट डिमांड इज गोइंग टू बी द प्राइमरी थिंग। ठीक है, अब इसमें आप बच्चों के साथ मैं क्या देखता हूं, जैसे वो एनरिचमेंट प्रोग्राम कर लेते हैं तो व्हाट दे फोकस ऑन इज कि कितने कीवर्ड्स डाल लूं मैं, कितने थिंकर डाल लूं मैं, कितना कंक्लूजन कर लूं मैं। बट आपको मेक श्योर करना है, यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट यू आर एड्रेसिंग द डिमांड। ठीक है, यू हैव टू इंश्योर दैट यू आर एड्रेसिंग द डिमांड। अब वो डिमांड कैसे एड्रेस होगी, ठीक है, दैट डिमांड एड्रेस करना कैसे होगा, यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स। ठीक है, जो डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स होते हैं वो आपको आइडेंटिफाई करने पड़ेंगे कि भाई दीज आर दी पार्ट्स इन माई क्वेश्चन। ठीक है, अब ये तो एक पार्ट हो गया कि आपने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया। नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू समथिंग जो PSIR के मार्केट में जिसको एकदम सिन माना जाता है। ठीक है, और वो क्यों माना जाता है हमें नहीं पता। ठीक है, क्यों उसे सिन माना जाता है हमें नहीं पता, बट आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू कि ये चीज इज वर्किंग नाउ। ठीक है, एंड इट इज एब्सोल्युटली स्टूपिड नॉट टू डू एनीथिंग लाइक दिस। ठीक है, सो सबसे पहली चीज जो आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इज दैट यू हैव टू यूज सब हेडिंग्स। ठीक है, आपको क्या करना है, आपको सब हेडिंग्स यूज करनी है भाई। ठीक है, यू हैव टू यूज सब हेडिंग्स। अगर आपने सब हेडिंग्स यूज नहीं करी तो एग्जामिनर को कभी भी नहीं पता चलेगा, कि आप क्या केपेबिलिटी रखते हो। ठीक है, कभी भी नहीं पता चलेगा कि आपने कहाँ पे क्या चीज को आंसर किया है। अब इसको बहुत ध्यान से समझ लो कि इसके पीछे क्या लॉजिक है। सब हेडिंग्स सब लोग मना कर रहे हैं PSIR में यूज करने से। आप एक चीज समझो, द प्रोफेसर जो है ना वो आलसी इंसान है। ठीक है, मैं बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिबली ये बात बोल रहा हूँ, आलसी इंसान है और उसको आपकी कॉपी में कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। ठीक है, उसको कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है कि तुम्हें ज्यादा मार्क्स भी दे, कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है उसे कि वो तुम्हें कम मार्क्स भी दे। ठीक है, वो तुम्हारे मार्क्स काटने में जरूर इंटरेस्ट होता है, बट द ओनली चेक ऑन द प्रोफेसर इज वन थिंग, एंड दैट इज द हेड एग्जामिनर। ठीक है, हेड एग्जामिनर ने अगर ये देखा कि एग्जामिनर ने तुम्हें नंबर नहीं दिए हैं, हेड एग्जामिनर यूजुअली इसलिए नहीं बोलेगा कि तुम्हें ज्यादा नंबर क्यों दिए हैं, मोस्ट लाइकली वो एक रैंडम कॉपी निकालेगा और देखेगा कि इसको कम नंबर क्यों दिए। ठीक है, नाउ यू हैव टू टारगेट, आपके दिमाग में क्या होना चाहिए, हेड एग्जामिनर। अब एक बात मुझे बताओ, हेड एग्जामिनर आपकी कॉपी डिटेल में नहीं पढ़ेगा, तो हाउ वुड द हेड एग्जामिनर नो कि आपने सारे पार्ट्स एड्रेस करे या नहीं करे। ठीक है, फॉर दैट यू हैव टू ड्रॉ सब हेडिंग्स, आपको सब हेडिंग्स बनानी पड़ेंगी इन द पॉलिटिकल साइंस एंड इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस, राइट। सेकेंड थिंग, आपको जो लैंग्वेज पार्ट्स की है उसी सेम लैंग्वेज को सब हेडिंग्स की फॉर्म में जैसे GS में करते हो वही करना है। ठीक है, वही सेम चीज करनी है आपको। ठीक है, तो यू कैन डू दीज टू थिंग्स टू मेक श्योर दैट योर आंसर के पार्ट्स आर कंसिडरेबली विजिबल। ठीक है, द सेकेंड थिंग दैट यू नीड टू डू इज यू नीड टू डिवाइड द क्वेश्चन। आपको क्या करना है, आपको मल्टीपल पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करना है क्वेश्चन को। ठीक है, आपको मल्टीपल पार्ट्स में क्वेश्चन को डिवाइड करना है। यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि जो जितने भी पार्ट्स हैं क्वेश्चन के, दे आर गेटिंग आंसर। ठीक है, जितने भी पार्ट्स हैं क्वेश्चन के, दे आर गेटिंग आंसर। नाउ हाउ डू यू डू दैट, आप मेक श्योर करें कि जो भी एक्सप्लिसिट डिमांड्स हैं वो सारी की सारी एड्रेस हो गई। ठीक है, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यू ऑल्सो मेक श्योर दैट द इम्प्लिसिट डिमांड्स, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर किसी क्वेश्चन में क्रिटिसिज्म नहीं पूछा है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप क्रिटिसिज्म ना दो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल बेनालिटी ऑफ ईविल, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो बेनालिटी ऑफ ईविल का क्रिटिसिज्म क्या है, वो पता ही नहीं हमें। बेनालिटी ऑफ ईवल का क्रिटिसिज्म नन ऑफ अस नो, व्हाई, बिकॉज द ट्रेडिशनल नोट्स जो मैम के नोट्स हैं वो आंसर ही नहीं करते वो चीज। ठीक है, एंड मैं आपको बहुत ऑनेस्टली बता रहा हूं दैट सैडली ड्यू टू द इकोसिस्टम बीइंग मोनोपोली, द मोनोपोली हैज बिकम वेरी वेरी रिलैक्स्ड। ठीक है, आई हैव हर्ड दैट बच्चों को 12 महीने तक PSIR का कोर्स करवाया जा रहा है, विच इज एब्सोल्युटली सैड। ठीक है, एंड वन ऑफ द रीजंस आई पिक्ड PSIR इज बिकॉज ऑफ द सैड स्टेट ऑफ अफेयर्स इन PSIR, राइट। तो इट इज एब्सोल्युटली दिस इज डिसग्रेसफुल कि हम ये वाले मेथड्स फॉलो करें जो बिना मतलब फैलाए गए आगे पीछे। ठीक है, सोशियोलॉजी अगर आप ऑप्शन उठाते हो तो आपको दिखेगा कि सारे लोग पॉइंट फॉर्मेट में लिखते हैं, सारे लोग उसमें लिखते हैं। तो भाई हमारे क्या PSIR के प्रोफेसर पागल हैं? एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में सब लोग पॉइंट फॉर्मेट में लिख रहे हैं। ठीक है, इवन इन अदर ऑप्शनल जो ह्यूमैनिटीज वाले हैं सब पॉइंट्स फॉर्मेट में लिख रहे हैं, पब एड में पॉइंट्स में लिख रहे हैं। बट पॉल साइंस में किसी एक पर्सन ने ये फालतू की लिमिटेशन बना दी है कि आप लोग पैराग्राफ में ही लिखोगे और उसकी वजह से आप लोग कर रहे हो सफर। ठीक है. नाउ आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट आप कंप्लीटली उस अप्रोच पे, पॉइंट अप्रोच पे शिफ्ट हो जाओ. पॉइंट अप्रोच इन जीएस एंड ऑप्शनल इज गोइंग टू बी डिफरेंट, राइट. यू हैव टू राइट 2-3 लाइंस का डेप्थ में लिखो, लेकिन पॉइंट फॉर्मेट में लिखो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप पे क्वेश्चन आता है लिमिटेशंस ऑफ कंपैरेटिव पॉलिटिक्स का, तो भाई क्यों पैराग्राफ में लिखना है? यू आर गोइंग टू वेस्ट योर वर्ड्स. लिमिटेशंस ऑफ कंपैरेटिव पॉलिटिक्स की सब हेडिंग लिखो, नीचे धार 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 करके पॉइंट्स लिखने का. एग्जामिनर के पास स्कोप ही नहीं होगा तुम्हारे नंबर काटने का. ठीक है. अनदर थिंग दैट यू डू इज यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट इन द आंसर, ठीक है, इन द आंसर यू आर राइटिंग एग्जाम्पल जस्ट लाइक जीएस. नाउ थ्योरी में इट इज वेरी इजी की थ्योरी बहुत स्टैटिक है, याद करना सब कुछ. हाउ डू यू डिफरेंशिएट योर आंसर? यू कैन डिफरेंशिएट योर आंसर ओनली विद एग्जाम्पल्स. ठीक है, जैसे कि मैंने वर्कशॉप में बताया, आप आइकमैन के एग्जाम्पल में पाकिस्तान की आर्मी को लिख सकते हो कि मॉडर्न डे जो 21st सेंचुरी आइकमैन है इंडिया के लिए, दैट इज पाकिस्तान. दैट इज पाकिस्तान फॉर अस, राइट, इजंट इट? ठीक है, तो ये सारे एग्जाम्पल. अगर आप पर्सनल इज पॉलिटिकल की बात करते हो दोस्तों, ठीक है, पर्सनल इज पॉलिटिकल का मतलब क्या है कि जो पर्सनल स्फीयर में हो रहा है, जो ह्यूमंस के हाउस होल्ड में हो रहा है, ठीक है, वो एक पॉलिटिकल चीज है. ठीक है, वो एक पॉलिटिकल चीज है, राइट. अब पॉलिटिक्स को कैरल हैनिस ने डिफरेंट वे में डिफाइन कर दिया. उसने ये बोला पॉलिटिक्स का मतलब ये नहीं होता. पॉलिटिक्स का मतलब होता है वेयर देयर आर जहां पे पावर डोमिनेशन हो. ठीक है, जहां पे पावर डोमिनेशन हो, एंड सच पावर डोमिनेशन कैन इवन एग्जिस्ट इन द हाउस होल्ड एंड इवन इन द बेडरूम. ठीक है, टू 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 बेसिकली बी क्रूड. ठीक है, कि आपकी वो डोमिनेशन कहीं भी हो सकती है. तो जब पॉलिटिक्स को ही रिडिफाइन कर दिया, तो दैट इज वाई दे से कि पॉलिटिक्स जो घर है ना, घर के डोर पे नहीं खत्म होती. इट गोज इवन इन साइड द हाउस होल्ड, बिकॉज जो हस्बैंड है ना, दैट हैज एन अथॉरिटी, दैट हैज एन डोमिनेशन ओवर द अदर पर्सन. दिस इज पॉलिटिक्स फॉर देम. ये पावर और पॉलिटिक्स को ऐसे डिफाइन कर दिया. और उन्होंने ये बोला कि पावर जो है, इट इट बिलोंग्स टू ओनली पॉलिटिकल स्फीयर. ठीक है, जो पावर रिलेशंस होते हैं, दे ओनली बिलोंग इन टू द पॉलिटिकल स्फीयर. सो दैट इज वाई पर्सनल इज पॉलिटिकल. दैट इज वाई पर्सनल इज पॉलिटिकल. आई नो आप लोगों ने कभी इतना ऐसे सोचा नहीं होगा पर्सनल इज पॉलिटिकल को. अगर सोचा है तो बहुत बढ़िया, वेरी गुड. ठीक है, मैंने नहीं सोचा था, बट दिस इज व्हाट दे मीन बाय पर्सनल इज पॉलिटिकल. कि पॉलिटिक्स हाउस होल्ड के डोर पे नहीं स्टॉप होती है, उसके अंदर भी पॉलिटिक्स आती है. एंड दैट इज वाई वी नीड. नाउ व्हाई एम आई टेलिंग यू दिस? दोस्तों, व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इन द तुषार शर्मा केस आप सब लोग जानते हो, बट कैन यू कोट इट इन द पर्सनल इज पॉलिटिकल? नाउ यू कैन नॉट कोट इट. ठीक है, आप भी कोट नहीं कर सकते, मैं भी कोट नहीं कर सकता था व्हेन आई वाज एन एस्पिरेंट, राइट. व्हाई? द क्वेश्चन इज व्हाई. सोशियोलॉजी में तो बच्चे सब कर लेते हैं, ठीक है, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में तो सब लोग कर लेते हैं. व्हाई इट इज नॉट हैपनिंग इन आर इकोसिस्टम? मैं बहुत ही सीधी सीधी बात बोलूंगा, दैट इज बिकॉज यू हैव इनकेपेबल मेंटर्स. ठीक है, दैट इज, और इसमें मेरा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट भी है, बट स्टिल मैं आपको ऑनेस्टली बोल रहा हूँ, डोंट ज्वाइन माई कोर्स, बट रिमेंबर दिस, बिकॉज यू हैव इनकेपेबल मेंटर्स जिनके पास ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग एबिलिटीज ही नहीं है. ठीक है, जिनके पास ये ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग एबिलिटीज ही नहीं है. नाउ व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग दिस, आई हैव बीन अ वेरी क्लोज फ्रेंड ऑफ इशिता किशोर. ठीक है, शी स्कोर्ड 323 मार्क्स in 2022. And as students we had developed such massive brainstorming abilities. उस टाइम भी हम जब डिस्कशन करते थे, तो इशिता वाज रीच्ड अ स्टेज जहां पे वो क्या करती थी कि इवन इजाया बर्लिन का एग्जांपल जो मैंने अपनी वर्कशॉप में दिया है, दैट एवरी चॉइस इज अ हार्ड चॉइस, शी यूज्ड इट इन एनवायरमेंट एंड डेवलपमेंट की डाइकोटॉमी. नाउ यू टेल मी, कौन से मेंटर ने हमें सिखाया? मुझे तो नहीं सिखाया. आई लर्न इट फ्रॉम इशिता ओनली, राइट. उसके बाद हम धीरे धीरे करके और अप्लाई किया, मैंने भी उससे सीखा, है ना. एंड आई होन्ड माई स्किल्स. नाउ नोबडी इज टीचिंग अस दिस. व्हाई? बिकॉज नोबडी हैज दिस स्किल. नोबडी केयर्स कि ये स्किल मैटर भी करता है. ठीक है, बट टॉपर्स तो यूज कर रहे हैं इस चीज को. सो वॉट एवर दिस ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग एंड इंटरलिंकिंग स्किल इज, ये एग्जाम्पल से, करंट एग्जाम्पल से आप यूज करके ऑलरेडी आपके पास एनरिच्ड कंटेंट है. तो एनरिचमेंट कोर्स में आप ये मत सोचना दैट आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू कि नया ही कंटेंट बम्बार्ड कर दिया. इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी लाइक दैट. इट इज गोइंग टू बी दैट आप लोग नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स, ठीक है, जो भी आप ऑलरेडी जानते हो, वी आर गोइंग टू अप्लाई देम. वी आर गोइंग टू शो यू दैट हाउ यू कुड हैव यूज्ड इट. ठीक है, सो दैट्स व्हाट द एनरिचमेंट कोर्स इज अबाउट, दैट्स व्हाट द पीवाईक्यू कोर्स इज अबाउट. इट इज नॉट अबाउट गिविंग यू कंटेंट कंटेंट कंटेंट. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मैं कंटेंट नहीं दूंगा, ठीक है, बट इट इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट कंटेंट. इट इज अबाउट मेकिंग श्योर दैट वॉट एवर कंटेंट यू ऑलरेडी हैव, you are able to apply it at multiple places. For example, can you use the Rawlsian theory? क्या आप Rawlsian theory को use कर सकते हो? Yeah. So can you majorly, I've been using English only, है ना? Yeah. So can you use Rawlsian theory in the international sphere? Can we use the Rawlsian theory in the international sphere? Can we talk about what justice is? है ना? So all of these things you can use at multiple places. For example, Rawlsian justice talks about different it talks about the difference principle. Difference principles means that you try to you try to give some advantageous position to the weakest, right? How do you ensure that they come to the same level? Okay, you can use it even in this difference principle. You can use it in women also. You can say that there is no level playing field, but international sphere mein, where do you use it? आप अपने अगर you if you run your mind, you will be able to understand that in the international sphere, who is the marginalized? It is the developing world. It is the global south. And probably this difference principle itself becomes the logic behind the can also be a very strong logic behind why the north should pay, why the north should pay for all the environmental damage, loss and damage mein why it should pay. So you must understand that these concepts are already there in your mind. Okay, you only need a push. You only need a push, but that push is not available anywhere, right? So you have to understand that this all of these things require some analytical abilities. ठीक है, और ये बस मैं I am not using it just as a mere keyword that you know analytical abilities. ठीक है, I am showing you by example. Now you can ask me that ऐसे randomly let's talk about any thinker. How do you apply Hannah Arendt? How do you apply Hannah Arendt in say social movements? How do you apply Hannah Arendt in social movements? Can we think of this? Now, do you remember that Hannah Arendt talks about that how the public at large can be converted into superfluous masses? Do you remember that? Superfluous masses. Now, we can say that social movements are a way to ensure that the masses do not become superfluous masses. And that is why social movements, है ना, with the right intent can become a counter to fascist forces. What a wonderful counter we can give. ये सारी चीजें हमारे दिमाग में हैं, but how do you apply that? ठीक है, how do you apply these things? So that is the thing that you know I particularly focus in this course. ये सारी चीजें, and I am sure आप में से जितने भी serious बच्चे हैं, a lot of you are serious बच्चे. So whoever is serious in this Zoom call, I am damn sure कि while listening to these examples, you are probably getting excited. ठीक है, you are probably getting okay interested, and this is a major factor in why people are able to score better. Because once you start enjoying your subject, things start sticking with you. Definitely, Gramsci's counter hegemony in politicization of caste. Hegemony in politicization of caste. How do you use it? Can you explain? Counter hegemony in politicization of caste. Politicization of caste so is something that is we study in political science as a positive concept. That politicization of caste, casticization of politics, ये सब positive sense में भी decide किया जाता है, negative sense में भी. So how do you talk about it? No, how in caste per se what? Counter hegemony. How counter hegemony? That is the point. What do you mean by that? Counter hegemony. So you can talk about say अब जैसे you have talked about that how do we use Gramsci's counter hegemony. You can probably say that developmental politics, we need to create a counter hegemony of developmental politics against caste politics. Did I choreograph this? No. But because we have these concepts in my mind, we have these concepts in our mind, we are able to apply any concept. Okay, we are able to enrich without enrichment. That is the skill doston that we need to learn, right? That is the skill we need to learn. So ideal approach, let me summarize this again for you. What is the ideal approach to towards an answer? The first thing that you need to do is you need to ensure that you are addressing the demand. अब ये counter hegemony वगैरह keep it aside. Counter hegemony, Hannah Arendt, whatever examples I've given you, keep it aside. Keep Tushar Sharma aside. The first and the foremost thing is going to be demand, right? The second thing that you need to ensure is that visibility. Visibility you must ensure. Demand, visibility, second thing. Visibility, how do you ensure? You ensure that you use the same phrase that is given in the question. So the examiner knows that this person has addressed this. So that the head examiner knows, not the examiner. Head examiner knows that you have addressed this part. And then he can come, idhar aao, examiner, come here. Why have you not given this child marks? Right? Why have you not given this candidate marks? Right? So this is the thing that we have to do. So subheadings acts as a basically safeguard, ठीक है, safety valve for you in case you get a very alsi or a very lazy examiner, right? So that subheading approach you have to apply. Secondly, thirdly, you have to start now also improving your presentation. ठीक है, presentation improve करने का मतलब क्या है? You have to ensure, what do you mean by improving presentation? You have to ensure that your keywords are boxed. Boxing, do it. GS वाली approach, boxing करो. Now visibility can also be improved. How do you improve this presentation? ठीक है. Example, when you're writing example, why don't you draw a triangle that you do in GS? Who is stopping you? Who has created this nonsense? Who has created this nonsense that you cannot use points format or example ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते? Priyasha Verma ka, have you seen the podcast? She has used all of these things. Now this is the thing that I told Priyasha, that Priyasha, bhai, we are not getting marks anyhow. 3 attempts चली गई, 3 attempts are gone. We are not able to score. I was telling her, ठीक है, इस बार भी मार्क्स नहीं आएंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? Let's try something new. And we started doing this, and the marks increased. 282 आए. उसमें मेजर फैक्टर में आपको, आई एम टेलिंग यू, इट इज गोइंग टू बी नॉट ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स. एनरिचमेंट और वो सब छोड़ दो, ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग, विजिबिलिटी, प्रेजेंटेशन, दिस इज द थिंग. बट वेन यू कंबाइन दिस, जब आप इस कॉम्बिनेशन को, वेन यू कंबाइन दिस कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ दीज थिंग्स, गुड चीजें मैंने आई हैव टोल्ड यू. एंड ऑब्वियसली यस, लास्ट पॉइंट इन आंसर इज मैक्रो डायमेंशंस. ओपन एज मेनी डायमेंशंस एज पॉसिबल. Now, this does not mean that if criticism is not asked, you give half a page, you give full page to criticism. You must understand that what is being asked must occupy a major space, right? But you give criticism even if it is not asked. Give it 1 paragraph, give it 2 paragraph maybe, right? Write way forward, even if it is not asked. Contemporary relevance, write it even if it is not asked. Now, this way, so what happens, I'll tell you from my experience. Last year, I did GS handholding and I checked more than, I think, 200 copies se zyada I checked alone, right? I checked alone. And in that, I realized one thing, that no, I as a teacher, it is very easy for me to cut marks where I cannot give marks at places जहाँ पे he has written something very well, very good. उतना तो time ही नहीं होता है. That much you cannot spare. That much time you cannot spare. So what do? You make sure that the student, what do you look? You look at the weak links of the student. आप देखते हो कि स्टूडेंट के मार्क्स में कहाँ काट सकता हूँ. You look at one part, second part, third part. He has addressed it. Okay, let's give him marks. But if he has not written criticism, if he has not addressed one part, it's very easy for the examiner to justify why he has cut the mark. That's why I'm telling you, never ever miss the macro dimensions. Never ever miss the macro dimensions. Even if criticism you have to write it in 1 paragraph, write way forward in 1 paragraph, but never ever miss it. This comes over and above everything you leave. Enrichment, PYQ leave. This is the first thing that you must understand, that these are the structure level pe aapko you have to do this, right? Then structuring of the answer, those are different things. Ki how do you go about it? You explain why, context, what, why, all of these things, they also play a major role. But majorly this is the things that you must remember, okay, in while you answer a question, okay. Now, apart from this, we need to understand something, some doubts that I had. Uske baad we'll talk about what are the doubts. What prevents students from achieving this 280, or maybe say 290, 300? What is stopping them? The first thing is inertia. ठीक है, inertia की spelling गलत हो गई, बताओ. Inertia की spelling, so छोड़ देते हैं उसको. Inertia, what is the inertia? Obviously, you know, answer writing आप नहीं करते हो. You will not write answers. That is going to be one single major problem that is going to create obstacles in your way. You are not going to write answers. ठीक है, I am announcing it. I am not saying that please write answers. I am announcing it that even in this 20 people Zoom call, you will not write answers. ठीक है, this is a declaration from my side given my experience. ठीक है, whoever is able to overcome this inertia, regardless of whatever content you have, you will improve so much. Na ghatiya content, you write poor content, but write daily. That is going to lead to a lot of things. Now I'm telling you what are those things. The first thing is breaking the questions into part, opening dimensions, visibility. For practicing all of these things, you don't need content. Do you need content to practice all of these things? No. So even when you don't have content and you are writing answers, you are improving on these aspects. आप इन aspects पे improve कर ही रहे हो. So you must understand that even without, or even while you have a content deficit, you are improving. That's why you must let this inertia go. You are improving. Just write it. Write daily. ठीक है? The second thing that's going to make sure that you are doomed is your content race. Content. If you are going to join my content or my classes, don't go after any other content. Go for only whatever your base notes are, because it is an advanced course. Base notes plus that, no value addition from your side, right? But that also has a limitation. Do not go after content. Make sure that you are balancing it with answer writing, right? The third major problem comes with respect to reading topper copies. And that is why I have attached topper copies after each enrichment PDF. I have attached them. But what people do is read it. Okay, Priyasha has written answer. What is so special? What is so special that Ishita has written? Right? You will come to know what are your deficits only when you write the same answer in a timed format. And that is the best evaluator you have got. Doston, a lot of you will keep on looking at which test series can give me, best evaluation, blah, 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 blah. Nobody is going to give you good evaluation. That's a market structural problem. I can explain it to you because the evaluators are very, very lowly paid in this market. Okay? So if you go for evaluation job, you will get 500 rupees per copy. Who will spend so much time writing so many comments? If you want good evaluations, learn to pay more. But that you won't do, market won't let that happen. That's a structural problem. I'm telling you very honestly. Okay? If you want good evaluation, pay more. You'll get good evaluation. Pay something like 1000 per copy. You're gonna get very, very good evaluation. I can guarantee that you'll get very good evaluation. Right? But if you keep on paying 500 rupees through these institutes or something like this, you're not going to get very good evaluation because they are paying merely 500 rupees. So incentive भी होता है ना भाई, नॉजिक, you remember है ना, नॉजिक, meritocratic society. The more incentive there is, the more the person will perform, right? So what you do is you are not going to get good evaluation. So how do you improve then? What is the one way that you can improve? Write the same answer, same moment, same time, and then compare. Now these topper copies are going to give you so much enlightenment. You will understand exactly that you had something in mind that was in your notes, but you thought of writing that, but you thought like, ki, bhai, how do I write this? How do I write this? It's not fitting somehow, right? And then you skip that point. But suddenly you read that, after reading your answer, you read the topper copy and you see how exactly he has used that point there. And that is what answer writing is. That is what answer writing is. That is what topper copy is going to lead to. For example, you thought of writing banality of evil. आपके दिमाग में था तो आपके दिमाग में तो था निर्भया rapist. You had that in your mind that Nirbhaya's rapist is something like that, right? But you thought that it cannot be used. But suddenly you see examiner's copy and you see that he has written a very good example. And then suddenly you understand that, okay, this could have been used like this. Now, why those copies are very, very good? Because they are practical copies. What the evaluator is going to tell you in answer writing series is what? Fair introduction. Write better introduction. Are what is a better introduction? Write a better introduction. Write a better conclusion. Are what is a good conclusion? Tell us now. है ना? That is the problem that he used to face. Fair introduction. Good structuring, good everything, but marks 4 out of 10. Why? You don't know. Okay? Because he is getting paid 500 rupees. Why would he spend so much time in telling you that? Right? So the best way to evaluate is through writing topper copies. ठीक है? You can do it all of these on your own. कोई problem नहीं है. ठीक है? The next thing that you're going to face is the issue that you're going to face is consolidation. PSR is a massive subject. Now in consolidation, I cannot help in this consolidation part. I can consolidate whatever I am teaching, but whatever your notes are, they need to be consolidated. So in the next 2 months, even if you are not writing mains, I'm going to tell you something about it. Okay, even if you are not writing this mains, consolidation should remain your very, very primary focus. If you are writing this mains, I think you should stick to whatever you have and then merely keep on adding value addition. Okay, stick to that thing, stick to that one source. The next thing that is preventing you from achieving this 280 to 90 is brainstorming. Now tell me, if someone who has taught political science from the past 30 years, if someone has taught political science from the past 30 years and you suddenly come and write Nirbhaya case in sexual violence, suddenly you come and write Twisha Sharma case in personalized political, don't you think the examiner is going to get very impressed that this child is someone who is applying things? You are going to make that person very happy. For example, I become very happy when someone says something, just out of the box. Very interestingly, they apply. Last year, when I was having this same session, brainstorming session, Priyasha said this Rolls wala international sphere mein, she applied somewhere else, right? We could see those things. So very interesting. And other students also, not only her, other students also gave very interesting examples about while we were brainstorming, right? The next thing is poor interlinkages. Poor interlinkages, you cannot use John Locke in CAG. Can you use John Locke in CAG? Can you use John Locke in CAG? John Locke talks about responsible government, right? Responsible government kya hoti hai? Which is answerable. So can you not say that the CAG ensures what John Locke calls as responsible government, but in the but in the financial sphere. That's how you use it. Now, if you when you go through our enrichment course, you'll find one common conclusion for all the commissions: National Commission for Women, National Commission for अपना ये NCPCR also. Everywhere you will find one common conclusion, and you will find that conclusion to be सुनना ध्यान से. Listen to this carefully. Uh, the functioning of all of these commissions, the functioning of all of these the functioning of all of these commissions proves the Hobbesian wisdom that covenants without swords are nothing but words. That covenants without swords are nothing but words. You can use it. Okay? You can use the Ladki Bahin Yojana. You can use how immigration became an issue in Indian politics in West Bengal. Now, in West Bengal, what has happened is West Bengal, a new party has come to power, right? And it is the same party that is at the center, right? Now, as soon as this new party came into the state, we saw that suddenly the state government transferred all of the resources, started transferring the land. Whatever issues the center had, all of these started getting resolved. This shows that Indian federalism or the Indian federal model is based on party politics. Wonderful example. It turns cooperative when same party is in power, and it turns conflictual when different parties are in power. Wonderful example. इसके लिए तुम्हें क्या पढ़ने की जरूरत है? You don't need to read any extra content. This is around you, right? The only thing that you need is absorption of content. You need absorption of content and you need application, right? Sadly, again, like I'm repeating this, a very few people in the market have this. ठीक है? A very few people in the market have this. So ये skill is something that is is not there amongst a lot of people. ठीक है? And this skill is very difficult to develop. मैं बहुत honestly बोल रहा हूँ. You can do enrichment on your own, but this interlinkage skill can only come when you get a push from someone. When you get a push from someone, I personally, since I'm being very honest, I got this from Varun Jain sir. When I was preparing, Varun Jain sir took this one PSIR का brainstorming course. I paid, I think उस समय भी I had paid 4,000. I paid 4,000 for that course, right? And in that he showed me early how he would brainstorm interlink, right? But that interlinkage, propelled my power a lot. I have used it far more than what he taught. Far more than what he taught. In caste politics, you can use number of points. In caste politics, you can talk about what Akhilesh Yadav is talking about. He's talking about Pichda Dalit Adivasi, PDA. Very good keyword. So you can write it down in your answers. That's because that politics is happening right now. That is happening in real time. Okay? What is the politics between Siddaramaiah, right? Siddaramaiah and then the power tussle between the two, right? Abhi hamare kaun hai naye CM? Who is the new CM of Karnataka? If you're following it, yes. So the Chanakya of Congress, okay? The Chanakya of Congress is now looking at caste politics, right? Yes, DK Shiv Kumar ji comes from a different community and Siddaramaiah ji comes from a vocal Liga community, right? This is caste politics at play, right? This is caste politics at play, isn't it? So we have to understand that these things are happening around you and you can make the examiner excited by writing these examples. Obviously, we are going to avoid politically charged things. Politically charged things we are not going to write. You can't write, Modi ji has not had press conference. Yeah, this makes no sense and this makes no relevance to our subject since we are having an academic discussion, right? We have to stick to our academics, right? We have to stick to our academics and till that point where you are being fair and reasonable, you can definitely use political examples. You can definitely use political examples. No worries, right? You can even show how caste coalitions work by quoting some slogans. For example, BSP, the Bahujan Samaj Party had a slogan that when they did alliance with the Brahmins of the state, Uttar Pradesh, and they used to say that Brahmin Shankh bajayega, Brahmin Shankh bajayega, और हाथी चलता जाएगा. To quote in English, they used to say that the Brahmin would blow the shankh and the hathi would keep on marching. The elephant would keep on marching. So what is this? This is caste coalition at work, isn't it? So these slogans show how caste coalition works in the country, right? And these are going to impress the examiner, I feel, right? These are going to impress the examiner a lot. This can happen only when you love this subject, only when you love political science, only when you love international relations, right? For instance, international relations. Why is Iran attacking everyone? Now, the very conceptual thing, why is Iran attacking everyone? Deterrence. Okay? deterrence by increasing the cost on US allies. The core concept is deterrence. Will the Iran, now when you are writing nuclear deterrence ka static question, you can say that the recent crisis in Iran has propelled or has incentivized other states to move towards nuclear, move towards acquiring nuclear weapons. The nuclear saber rattling by Putin, the nuclear by the comments such as a civilization will die today by President Trump, has shown the lowering of the nuclear taboo. Because people were not saying that I'm going to blow you up, है ना? Only the Pakistanis were saying maybe, right? But in general, this lingo was not there. This language was not there. But this taboo is now coming down. So what effect is it is going to have on your nuclear deterrence? That's the thing, right? So these are the things that I believe that prevent you from achieving good results. Now इसके अलावा what is there, अब मैं अपना बता देता हूँ, ठीक है? That with respect to crash course, अगर आप crash course की अच्छा one more thing, हाँ, sources mains 2027, ये तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात रहेगी, ठीक है? Mains 2027 के people, you must understand that आप लोगों को क्या करना चाहिए. If you are going to join this course, where I would say मैं होता तो 100% you should join this course only, ठीक है? 100% you should join this course only 26 वाले. Why I am telling you this? Last year I had मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, last year we had 10 people who were writing mains, ठीक है? But I had 70 people in the course, right? 70 to 80 people, 60 of them were not writing mains, right? But I'm sure if they get through this prelims, they are going to get ranks because they have got 1 year to consolidate. They have got 1 year of charged mind. Now whenever they were reading news, they were incorporating those things, right? Now imagine you delay taking this course by say 3 months, right? And you do it in November. When will your churning start? It will start in November only, right? Another thing that I believe is that when you see people who are writing mains now, that propels you, right? You are going to write answers, right? You are going to write answers. And with respect to answers, the daily answer writing will be here in enrichment program. Evaluation is not here because we have to keep the costs low, but peer evaluation, and whenever I get time I am going to evaluate. Last year भी, see, I don't promise it because क्या होता है फिर, that becomes very difficult कि आपने तो promise किया था, it's a part of the course. Informally भी last year मैंने, ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आया या ऐसे कोई बच्चे नहीं आए जिनके मैंने इवेलुएट नहीं करे, राइट? आई डिड इवेलुएट. अमन को भी कोई प्रॉमिस नहीं किया था मैंने इवेलुएशन का, बट आई डिड इवेलुएट इनफॉर्मली. बट फॉर्मली इसलिए नहीं बोलते बिकॉज देन इट क्रिएट्स अ बाइंडिंग ऑब्लिगेशन, राइट? समटाइम्स आई माइट गेट डिलेड, फिर वो बाइंडिंग ऑब्लिगेशन एंड द कॉस्ट इज वेरी वेरी लो, अदरवाइज द विल हैव टू इंक्रीज द कॉस्ट. अगर फिर मैंने इवेलुएटर रखा, इफ आई कीप एन इवेलुएटर द कॉस्ट विल गो वेरी वेरी हाई, राइट? So a better thing is you do topper copy answer writing with me. Send it on the group. I am going to evaluate as and when I get time, right? Pakka promise, right? And join a test series post this course is over. So do daily answer writing with me and join the test series post this course is over, and then just practice whatever you've learned. Practice. That's the ideal way to go. And in these 2 3 months, 2 months, you give the entire time to PSR. 2 महीने में PSIR is done भाई. Just then फिर क्या आएगा आपका, अगस्त आएगा, अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर, नवंबर. You give 4 months to each GS paper along with essay. 1 2 3 4 done. You will be ready by November. Mains ready by November. Mains ready by November. Now some people are saying sources. What sources? भाई शुभ्रा मैम के बेसिक नोट्स इफ़ यू हैव, वेरी गुड, बहुत बढ़िया नोट्स हैं. उसमें कुछ करेक्शंस हैं, कुछ गलतियां हैं. देर आर सम मिस्टेक्स इन दोस नोट्स. I'm going to tell you, for example, the first democratic wave, second democratic wave have been written incorrect. ठीक है, factually they are incorrect at a lot of places. So correct them. And sources में the next source is going to be, if you are joining this course, this source, that's it. उसके अलावा no source. Whatever value addition is there, आपका value addition is going to reach a level nobody has done that in the country, right? I am a very small player, but I will guarantee you your value addition is going to stand out in the country. In the country. जितने भी बच्चे हैं, why? Because it is an organic value addition. It is not something that we are AI generate, chat GPT do this. No, we are using our own brain to brainstorm. And why this is important is because if I give you AI generated answers, right, it's not going to help you improve or write better answer or interlink things in the real examination. ठीक है, examination में you might get a bouncer. How will you interlink at that point of time? How are you going to interlink at that point of time when you are sitting in the exam hall and you get a bouncer? That will happen only when you get this interest, only when you brainstorm alongside me, right? So kal we are going to have our first class, I am not going to release that first class because that's going to enrich everything. Second class, maybe I'll enrich because the first class will enrich fundamental rights. It is going to enrich DPSP. That I'm not going to release. Basic structure wala part I'm going to release because that is very enriching. Okay, so I cannot enrich it for everyone, right? The competitive advantage of the students will go down. So I will enrich. Maybe I'll release the first half of the class with respect to basic structure and preamble and everything, but not fundamental rights, not fundamental duties, because we have used wonderful stuff there, right? If that gets released, I think the competitive edge will come down. For example, I'm going to teach you how to use uh, Hobbesian Leviathan in fundamental rights. Yeah, I'll show you, don't worry. Enrichment PDFs, we can use it. Yeah, I'll show you. Right. Just a second. I'll take your questions, dosto. Don't worry. I'll take your questions. So we are going to enrich. So for example, how do you use Leviathan in Article 20? Right. How do you use differentiated equality in Article 23? These are the concepts that you can be used. So 1B maybe also you can enrich with 1A, right? Anyway, so these were my things that I was talking about. Okay, this is your crash course that we are going to launch tomorrow. And it's going to be a 60 days program. Nobody is offering you this. मैं with guarantee बोल सकता हूँ 60 classes तो nobody is going to offer you at this price, right? It includes all of the topper copy based answer writing, enrichment is included, PYQ is included, right? And it also includes apna topper copies, right? As I said, it also includes one more thing that I'm going to show you, and that is you have apna. Um, Let me show you. You have last minute revision notes, right? These are your last minute revision notes. So all the keywords at one place. You don't need to do the mehnat. These I call as जरूर डालेंगे notes. ठीक है, जरूर डालेंगे notes. That essentially we are going to put notes. ठीक है, so जरूर डालेंगे notes that I had done. Yeah, recorded classes will be available, Tushar, and recorded live. Actually, Sleepy was saying that we cannot have live classes, but I said that even if I have to take live classes, I am going to take live classes only, bhai. I like to brainstorm with students. I'm not going to give any recorded classes. So we are going to have live classes. We are going to record it. We are going to put it completely available, dosto. Right. So yeah, I was talking about this thing that if you go in the market, ठीक है, मैं आपको बता देता हूँ पहले से ही, so that you make an informed decision. So we are going to have enrichment plus PYQ. It's not a crash course like definitely current affairs will be included as a part of enrichment. As a part of enrichment, whatever is important, whatever needs to be included, it will be included in the enrichment. For example, last year we had this lieutenant governor wali judgment last year, right? So I included that in the entire topic was included as a part of enrichment, lieutenant governor. Whatever the extra is there, I'll give you PDF. Last year I taught Indus Valley, Indus Valley बोल देता हूँ, अपना Indus treaty, ठीक है, Indus water treaty I had taught completely. This year also I'm expecting that it might be asked. I had taught number of topics. I had taught EU. I had specifically said in the class that this year EU will be asked. EU was asked, and I had given them a very different introduction. आप लोग क्या EU में लिखोगे? It is a loveless marriage. वही that सड़ा घिसा पिटा introduction is with us, right? But I had given them a different introduction that was given by the EU president, and it was something like that the celestial the planets have aligned. So at that point of time there was a new event. There was a celestial event in which the planets were aligned, and at that point of time she said that we are witnessing a new celestial moment where the planets have aligned, and so have India and EU, and so have India and EU. These are the introductions that we're looking for. JS Milka, if I ask you introduction, as I said in the workshop, you are going to give me that Gisa Pita introduction that I am fed up of hearing. That is, if anyone is liberal, it is Mil. So when are we going to move away from these introductions, right? So one monopoly content cannot be used for 2000 people in mains, right? We need to make some difference. I'm not saying completely change it. Some difference we need, and that's why I'm not launching a foundation program. I am just launching a enrichment program, right? The second thing that we're going to have, so these are going to be our introductions, okay? This is going to be our fascism is an interwar system. I'm going to give you a wonderful introduction. Look at the introduction of United Nations. Now, no AI can generate this. I have generated this, okay? So United Nations formed in 1945, comes close to an international sovereign that tries to convert the Hobbesian anarchy into an anarchical society. Hobbesian anarchy, 1A, anarchical society, 2A, and United Nations might come in 2B, where you are talking about India's pursuit of UNSC, right? So multiple linkages you can do, right? So these are the interlinkages that I have done for you. Enrichment में आपको this kind of introductions, this kind of conclusion, this kind of content you are going to get, right? So with respect to PDF, I'll show you an enrichment PDF example. I'll show you in this iPad only I have. I have started, by the way, है ना, in this very room only I have operated from the past 1 year, right? But this has also, strengthened my belief how if you're good at something, or if you can, if you are delivering value, I think things start happening. I never imagined that, someone will get 282 from my course. I never imagined, worked for it, but never imagined, right? But that happened. That happened. So these things have happened only because you can see, matlab, apply your brain and see what is helping you become a better student, what is helping you deliver better, right? Don't go after FOMOs, right? Aman could have, I had 30 students, right? Telegram पे stream करता था मैं. Telegram stream पे I taught. Why did Aman Aloon join me? Why did Aman Aloon join me? Because he saw that, okay, some value is being delivered. Some value is being delivered. So don't be naive, दोस्तों. All of specifically those who are senior, don't live in FOMOs. Don't live in FOMOs. See what is helping you. Even if this is not helping you, don't go for this. Absolutely, as clear as that. Go for any demo session. See the demo session. If the student, you as a student, you are connecting with the teacher, go for it. Otherwise, absolutely no. Don't go for this course if you are not able to connect with me in this class. Don't go for it. मैं तो बिल्कुल बोलता हूँ. I once joined this current affair course in for prelims. I regretted the most. 20,000 rupees I gave. Right? I should have simply watched this video on YouTube, and I would have definitely rejected it because it was plain boring. Right? So don't go for any course without watching the video. If you are connected with someone, go for it. Okay? Go for that. Okay? Oh no, Shubham, they could definitely see. I can give this answer and say no. कि Shubham, bhai, don't read anything. ठीक है? But you are having a, you don't need to make notes out of it. ठीक है? That I will do it. Right? Whatever introduction and whatever PDF I have to give, I'll do it. ठीक है? But if you don't read na, you'll not get a good flair of the language. So you need not follow it, but whatever article I am giving you or I'm sending you, you must read it for a perspective, right? From a perspective. Yeah, I'll tell you why we are starting from 1B. So yeah, so I was talking you just one last thing, and then I'm going to answer one last thing, right? दोस्तों, we have created a program where there is no AI generated content. ठीक है? Now let me show you one example, and मैंने उनका नाम हटा दिया है जहाँ से मैंने उठाया है. दिस इज समथिंग जो एक PYQ कोर्स है. ठीक है? और ये 4 पेज में था. मैंने ChatGPT से बोल के इसको कम में करवाया. उनका अपने में AI में नहीं यूज़ करता. उनका मैंने 4 पेज का. सो दिस वाज अ 4 पेज document that I reduced to 1 page. Now this content, if you start writing, it will be a 4 page content. ठीक है? Now tell me, this is one question. 4 page. Does it make sense for us to do this 4 page content for one answer? It doesn't, because we already have some base notes. If you don't have base note, you go and make this only the base note. So don't expect these kind of answers in our course, right? This is going to be our modus operandi. The basic structure is implicit wali cheese is not addressed. 5 points. I am going to explain this in the class so that you are able to understand how to use this. Right? Apart from this, Supreme Court has given it in explicit form. I will discuss what all you can quote, but I am not going to give it to you in writing. भाई इतना टाइम नहीं है हमारे पास. आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू टेल यू मेनका गांधी केस कोट करो यहाँ पे. कोट दिस एंड इफ यू डोंट नो मेनका गांधी केस, and if you don't know Kesavananda Bharti case, if you don't know other things, right, then it's going to get problematic. You don't know Minerva Mills, but I'm going to explain you what was discussed there, and you can just complete your answer there itself. What is the point of writing those things when you already know it? And if you don't know it, तो फिर, God save us, right? This is my sample आप PYQ का sample. Let me show you. Examine the significance of the verdict. This is my introduction. Yeah, this is my answer. That's it. 2 page. Okay, 1 page over. Right? This is another question. Why preamble of the Indian Constitution reflects itself as a social contract? Right? This page. Khatam. This is our answer. 10 marks. Maybe we don't need more. Right? 10 marks में we don't need more, and it's a very dense content. No, nothing like this. We can't do this, right? Why is someone able to write this much? Because they are not typing it themselves. They are just copying pasting somewhere. This I have typed. Arrows also I have made, right? So I know that how much hard work it takes. So I type because I make sure that I understand the pain of the student. I type, that's why. No team I have for content. I am going to generate everything. Right? So this is going to be our apna short answers. preamble ka answers is there, right? The last thing, I'm going to bring toppers, right? They're going to have score booster sessions. I have talked to Aman, I'm talking to Priyasha, right? They're going to come and they're going to take paper wise workshops. They're going to help you improve. Exactly 3 hours workshops, 4-hour workshops. They're going to show you answers and help you improve whatever I have talked about. All of those answer building formats, they are going to teach you live answer writing. That you are going to write answers with them, right? Again, nowhere in the country you'll get this. I have gotten access to toppers only because of my goodwill. Okay, only because of my goodwill, because they believe that we got this. And by the way, I didn't only get toppers in PSR, we also got toppers Daisy. Day before yesterday I talked to her, है ना? So Daisy के ethics में score भी boosted, 122 marks she has gotten in ethics. So that is the goodwill I have, है ना? No money power at all that you can buy toppers, so that I cannot do, right? Not monetarily also or consciously also I cannot do that. Okay, so there is these PSR toppers are only solely coming on the basis of the goodwill that we have created, right? Secondly, last year we did not have these features. I'm telling you this. Last year I did not have any topper. So score booster session कहाँ से होता, right? The second thing is going to be bi-weekly Zoom calls. ये भी नहीं था offer because last year I was creating content while I was teaching, right? So it was absolutely crazy. I am telling you, मैं 12 बजे बैठता था रात को और 2 बजे क्लास होती थी मेरी. 2 बजे तक तो टाइम ही नहीं मिलता था सोने का. 12 बजे बैठ के 2 बजे तक किया, 2 बजे क्लास ली, 5 बजे आई टू स्लीप, देन अगेन बैक टू वर्क, राइट? सो दैट वाज क्रेजी, राइट? So there was no time. But this year we have content ready, right? I don't believe in content teams. I have created my own content. So this year we have content ready. So I am going to spare Sundays also for you, so that I can talk to you just like we are talking right now, right? So we can do this. So that's what we are offering. Again, nobody in the country, no teacher is going to talk to you one to one, right? I can do it because I am a small player. Okay, I can do it to you. One day maybe I'll become a big player. Then this Zoom call option will not be there, right? Then the Zoom call, because 10,000 बच्चों की Zoom call क्या लोगे आप, right? या 5,000 बच्चों की Zoom call कहाँ से लोगे? 5,000 people you cannot have a Zoom call with, right? So yeah, that's it from my side. I'm going to maybe show you enrichment PDF also. By then, till then, we can take some questions. Yeah, let me take some questions जो आप लोग बोल रहे थे. Yeah, I'll show you the enrichment PDF. Please remind me. Timing of the class is 12 p.m. दोस्तों. The timing of the class is 12 p.m. Right? 12 p.m. Will recorded classes be available? Yes, yes, yes. Current affairs are included. Yes, definitely they are included as a part of the enrichment course. Sir, there is need to. I have answered this. You need to read articles not for the sake of content. You need to read articles for the sake of improving your understanding of things. For example,